On the special council meeting of November 15, 2023 to order at 6:32 p.m. All members of council are in attendance. Will Mr. Stinnett please lead us in the pledge of allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Kucinich.
Here.
Mr. Myers.
Here.
Ms. Kreniak. Here. Ms. Schmidt. Here. Mr. Overstreet.
Here.
Mr. Semick.
Here.
Mr. Spotman.
Yes. The motion to approve the agenda for the special council meeting of November 15, 2023. So moved. Is there a second? Second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Semick. Yes. Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Mr. Kucinich.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak. Abstain. Ms. Schmidt. Yes. Mr. Spotman.
Yes, motion carried, agenda is approved. This is a special meeting, we have no committee reports. This time we'll open it up to the public portion. So, reminders of course, I open for recognition of the public. I remind speakers that all remarks will be directed to the chair and will not involve personalities or limited to 3 minutes and 30 minutes total. I remind everybody that this will be professional and with order. So, anybody like to come up and speak? My guess, please.
You guys want to go first?
Just state your name, please, for the record. I don't have a written copy. Your name and address, please.
Divided 125 thank you, for sending me over the presentation, Mr. Clammer, and, Ms. Ryan for sending me over the in relationship to tonight's agenda. I was hoping to maybe, Mr. Cotton to clarify, for the residents, with the transfer of funds from the general fund of $1.8 million under the first resolution proposed tonight, is that money, just being transferred yearly, or is it being spent for something, is tonight, well, just transfer?
At this time, there is no expenditures, and all expenditures will have to come to the council. This is just moving money from one pocket to another pocket for safekeeping. Money is not being spent.
And the other question I have, there was a statement at last night's meeting about $200,000 that were already approved to be spent some portion of the plan, the engineering studies, like for the Central Safety Center. I just wanted to know from you, Mr. Spotman, was that $200 already spent, or that something you're contemplating?
There's nothing that's spent on this project. This project was just, we had an informational meeting on what we maybe could do, and we're at the point of the companies coming in to do an assessment, what's required by the state, required by, industry standards, all the parts. The fire station's built in 57, if I remember correctly, and the police station in the early 70s. Well, things have changed a lot with workplace. So most of these places are not even up to standard. But again, I don't know all the ins and outs on that, but the consulting company that will come in, that's their job to know all that and assess if those buildings are usable. Maybe we stay there, maybe we don't, maybe we do not. But that's where we're at here. We're not spending, especially stuff all the internet of $30 million tonight.
I understand that, but at last night's meeting, there was discussion on Chanel about $200,000 in engineering feasibility studies, and I just was looking for clarification.
Feasibility studies that have not made.
Great, but you haven't answered my question. Did council already approve that $200,000 to be spent? That would be on the future agenda.
Nothing's been spent.
Okay, so that'll be on the future agenda? Okay.
I don't know when.
Okay, so watch the agenda.
Yes.
And then the last thing, just real quick, I'm surprised to see Mr. Myers up here. I do understand that he was reelected. I guess I assume that started in January, not right away.
It was a mayor's appointment.
Mayor appointment?
Yep.
Oh, when did that happen?
The council has 30 days, so we can cover the state down, the appointment goes from there.
Right, and that happened in August.
I think I should speak for him, but his thinking was we were so close to the election that the board of speak, and the board of spoken, Mr. Myers was reelected, so the appointment is not still fixed down, it's the appointment to the unexpired term. Then he'll be elected, he'll get another oath of office and elected term.
So the mayor reappointed him, that happened at the meeting, or he just said?
He did it by
So that wasn't effective last night? It happened today? Oh, he's out. They're recovering from his surgery.
That's pretty good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
State your name and address for the record, please.
And I'm JS 35432 Monument Drive, East Lake, Ohio. First of all, I want to also add to what she said. I can't believe it. Every time I'm coming, something new is going on behind people's back. Brandon, no, I'm going to speak. I get my 3 minutes. You as a council board suspended him or whatever you did so he can't be on council. Now he's back because the mayor decided on his own to reappoint him? Come on, people.
That's the way the charter reads, and you should
Okay,
understand
all right, I'm
that.
gonna finish my 3 minutes and I'll listen to you. Number two, last night I sat here and I heard the number 200,000 bantered around. That's what we're gonna use for the study for the safety study. 2 points on that. Number one, are you going to do an RFQ? Not a request for proposal, but a request for quotation. 200,000 is a lot of money. Get some bids from various firms as to what they'll do it for. Is this going to be a blank check, or are you going to limit the amount of money spent? Number two on this, I asked how much money is being put into this legislation. Again, I'm looking on the original dollar amounts. So I researched, and I'm finding 1.8 million going to the road fund. That's fine. You need that money to match state funds, that's fine. But no one on this board said 1.883066 is being put into the safety fund. We were led to believe from everybody here that it was 200,000.
No, you weren't.
Yes, it was. How many times did we ask?
Sir,
All right,
I
I'm gonna finish my,
fire chief,
I'm
counsel,
gonna finish.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay? So why wasn't the amount of money put into the legislation? Why the secrecy? If everything's above board, you should have put both amounts of money into legislation. It's not here, I'm reading it. All right, then we were also led to believe that the safety center was just in the very preliminary stages. Well, now I know that a lot has been done. Site plans were presented, discussions were made about the funding, discussions were made from the police and fire department about their needs. That's not preliminary talk. That's well advanced talk. No, I'm going to finish that with it. You'll have a lot after 3 minutes. Well, I did more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, let's finish and then we can resolve.
So I want to know why we were led to believe that this was very preliminary. Yet, a lot of work has been done behind the scenes, and I believe this. Okay, I'm not going to get
Don't believe.
I won't. I know that there were discussions and meetings held on this matter. Are you going to tell me there were no discussions and meetings held on this matter? So there's a lot being done on this before the people even knew about it. Get the people's opinion. Have meetings with the people. Do surveys. Do whatever you want to do. But most importantly, line your funding up first before you go spending money. Make sure the people are going to give you the money. Don't go spending $200,000 and get nothing for it. Last point. You could put $1.8 million in here, but you can't give the people of East Lake leaf collection.
That's pretty good.
How does that sound?
That's pretty good.
I was going to get it up.
Okay,
I get a few more seconds, but I'll.
thank you.
Mr. President, just because my limits were out, but I'm a law director. I resent, and I've known Mr. Andresi for a long time. I certainly resent, and I thank Ms. Freeman for not making these implications, but sharing some of the same sentiments. I appreciate that. The implication that I was a law director and going to let anybody do anything unlawful or unfair. This whole discussion of this safety center, of course, probably included some period of time when Mayor Andresi was here, because it's always been a problem, the aging state of these buildings. But at this point, this is probably the earliest possible state we could be in. I provided Ms. Freeman, because she did ask, the small 10-page presentation that council received, the rest was rather insignificant. It most certainly is not a site plan, so the extent that the residents are hearing anything about the site plan, that is not what a site plan is. It's a drawing to give a conceptual idea of what could happen and where could go on the property. You have, the city is blessed to have a CPA and former assistant auditor for the state of Ohio, and Caroline Chanel, as our finance director. And because I work with her every day, I can tell you how conservative she is on how she wants to spend the money. There's probably everybody on council who would agree with me that she doesn't let a dollar slip through. So she's certainly not going to overspend at this point in time. We are so far ahead of making a determination of spending any money, it's ridiculous. So for you to say those things and include me in that conversation and imply that anybody on council, Carol Ann, me, or the mayor are doing anything underhand is incredibly inappropriate and not fair to anybody that might listen to you for your opinion, because they're getting the wrong
I
impression.
did not mention your
already
name.
had your time.
I did not mention
You had
his
your
name.
time.
He's being,
Sir,
he's not telling the truth.
Please request.
I didn't mention
Sir, you
his
had your
name.
time.
Because
Not
the residents
completely.
might hear
No,
that.
I-
Getting the wrong impression of what's happening.
I thought.
Everybody's just being sincere and honest,
You don't-
and that's what the residents are entitled to hear. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Flannery. Anybody else like to address council? Seeing none, move forward with our legislation. Clerk, please read legislation 111401.
An ordinance to reappropriate for the expenses of the city of East Lake, state of Ohio, for the period beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule required second reading and reading in full? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Ms. Creniak?
Yes.
Mr. Stumic?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Ms. Creniak?
Yes.
Mr. Stumic?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Senick? Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Motion is carried. Legislation is adopted. Will clerk please read legislation 111402?
A resolution authorizing the Director of Finance to transfer funds, with said funds to be transferred from Fund 101 to General Fund in the amount as listed into Fund 803 Safety Center Fund, as well as a transfer from Fund 101 to General Fund in the amount as listed into Fund 402 Road Levy Fund, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule required second reading and reading in full? Is there a second? Will clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Craniak?
No.
Ms. Schmidt?
No.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Since I'm not used to the cost situation versus a special meeting that is kind of quick, I just want to address a couple things as to why I'm saying no, because I want it on the record. I'm not saying no because I have a belief that we don't deserve a safety center. I have an issue, and I've had an issue since the very beginning for 2 years, why the finance director continues to put two things together and lump it into one resolution. These are two separate issues. One, a safety center transfer from GS to a transfer from GS to a road levy. They need to be separate. Because I can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what I'm being forced to do. I can't parcel it out. I can't say I'm for the road levy and I'm not for the safety center. That I have a problem with. I sent 4 emails to Carol Ann Schindel to answer my questions with regards to these serious issues. I've gotten not one response. That was from Saturday when Melissa originally sent out the agenda. I then found out that a resident sent an email to Carol Ann today, and within 45 minutes got a response. And you don't have to like me at all, but I need to have a response from the director so this is going to continue to happen. My situation and why we're here for 2 meetings, which quite frankly, I don't know how you decided on this, or if this was legal. Because you're the legal director, and at this point, my next question.
You directed, since you made your statement, are you directing all your comments to me?
I'm directing the second question to you. It has always been my understanding that if we don't pass 6 and it becomes, it's not an emergency, you have to have 3 meetings, 3 readings. How is it that we went from last night with me not being able to attend to the next day, having literally meetings back to back in order to pass this through?
If it was an emergency, just do the emergency budget, and let's continue talking about the other things. That's what I have an issue with. I don't understand how something can be an emergency, and then the next day, we're immediately putting back, 6:30, 6:45, we're gonna pass it here, we're gonna do all three of them, boom, boom, boom. That I have a problem with.
Thank you for your comments. Are you done?
No, not yet. There was a letter, you asked if there was a letter sent, because there was a letter sent saying that Mayor appointed Mr. Myers to a position, and it was sent to council, I believe you said it was sent to council. I didn't receive a letter, any notification that Mr. Myers being.
All I said was you sent a letter, you sent an email earlier today, I don't remember.
And I believe Heather sent it to council.
I don't know what that is.
I have it. And it was, Randy, you were copied on it.
I was copied on it, so I saw it.
Was it sent to council?
Well, it hasn't been sent to, probably Mr. Spot, I don't remember.
Did you get one?
It's no surprise, he's here.
It's irrelevant. Okay, listen.
It's the mayor's.
We're not gonna get this kind of argument here.
It's kind of not relevant, and.
It's not gonna get started. It's the mayor's appointment. It's
Of
a legal
course, and I
process.
perfectly
Okay,
connect with that.
we're not gonna.
That's not the point, you know why I wasn't here.
I'm not saying that. Are you talking about Mr. Myers? Okay, we're not gonna be arguing here all the time. We have work to do here.
What
You
the
can
problem is, we
complain
don't
about
fight
Carolina
enough,
to
David,
the
we don't need to
administration.
discuss a lot of
Okay.
these issues.
Okay, so we
And
know
that's
it.
the problem.
Duly noted. Okay, that legislation did not move forward on emergency, moving on second reading.
In 15 minutes.
No, there is no other meeting. We're gonna move on to 111403. Clerk, please read.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and director of finance to accept a donation of $500 from Night Ride Auto Wholesale located at East 367th Street, Eastlake, Ohio, 44095, on behalf of the city of Eastlake Fire Department and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion suspending the rules, requiring second reading and reading the full? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Mr. Sevens.
Yes.
Mr. Spartan.
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Mr. Sevens.
Yes.
Mr. Spartan.
Yes, motion carried, legislation adopted. Clerk, please read legislation 111404.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to purchase a 2024 Chevy Silverado 2500 HP work truck for use by the Eastlake Fire Department from Serpentini Auto Group for a total amount of $54,245 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule, requiring second reading and reading in full? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis. Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt. Mr. Sevens. Mr. Spartan.
Yes, is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Mr. Myers. Mr. Katsounis.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Sevens. Mr. Spartan.
Yes, motion carried, legislation is adopted. Clerk, please read legislation 111405.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to purchase two 2023 Chevy Tahoe vehicles from Tim Lally Chevrolet, SAVE, for use by the Eastlake Police Department for a total of $113,811 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule, requiring second reading and reading in full? Is there a second? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Sevens.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Mr. Spartan.
Yes, is there a motion to adopt?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Sevens.
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Kreniak.
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet.
Yes.
Mr. Spartan.
Yes, motion carried, legislation is adopted. Clerk, please read legislation 111406.
An ordinance amending chapter 155, employment provisions and compensation of the codified ordinances of the city of Eastlake to include senior citizen director, to list the positions considered full-time, non-union eligible employees, to read as such and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules, requiring second reading and reading in full?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Craniac?
No.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett? Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
I move to adopt. Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Craniac?
No.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Motion carried, legislation adopted.
Once again, Mr. Chairman, I have to leave my seat, I'll be brief. Here was another situation where I requested from Caroline Schindel to explain to me what that difference in cost would be, since currently we pay part of it and she gets a grant from another part. With this going up to the 165 and she become a non-union or a union employee, how much is that going to, how much are we as a city going to offset that? How much is that going to go up? How much is the grant going to be, and is it going to be basically the same? Or because she is a union employee falling under 155, will we be paying the full $60,000 to $75,000? I have not yet gotten a response from her on that, and I'm voting no for that reason. She'd like to get a hold of me and give me the answer.
Nobody knows it, thank you. Clerk, please read 111407.
An ordinance to appropriate for the expenses of the city of Eastlake, state of Ohio, for the period beginning January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency.
The motion to the rules for second reading, reading in full.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Craniac?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett? Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Craniac?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett? Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Motion carried, legislation adopted. Clerk, please read 111408.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to purchase radios and all related amenities from Motorola Solutions for use by the Eastlake Police Department for a total of $25,814.64 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules for second reading, reading in full?
Move.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Craniac?
No.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett? Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Craniac?
No.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Motion carried, legislation adopted.
There's been a delay, if I may. Just a question for the same reason as before. I simply asked the chief if these were the encrypted Motorola phones or if it was equipment, or is this going to be regular equipment, considering the county is trying to go encrypted? Does anybody know?
We replied yesterday that this is the updated county radio system they're gonna be working towards shortly, but doesn't know the exact timeline. There's not gonna be a hard cutoff. They don't know when it's coming, but it's coming.
But
So
these
these are the new
Motorola phones
radios
are being
working,
capable.
the new radios working towards the new system.
No.
Will clerk please read legislation 111409?
A resolution approving the amendment of Article 5I of the bylaws of the Normal Health Insurance Pool, Inc., and declaring an emergency.
The motion to suspend the rules requires second reading to reading.
So moved.
Is there a second? Clerk please call the roll.
Ms. Craniac?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett? Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second? Clerk please call the roll.
Ms. Craniac?
Yes.
Mr. Semmett?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Swanton?
Yes, motion carried, legislation is adopted. Will clerk please read legislation 111410?
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed of permanent parcel number 34-A-018-B-00-042
there a second? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Summit? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Kranek?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yeah, motion carried, legislation is adopted. Thank the public that was able to attend tonight, and the special council meeting will be adjourned at